all right there. What a pleasure to be back with you people. It's Tuesday as I record this, and yesterday, it's a YouTuber's nightmare, recorded 30 minutes of what I thought was really good. As you know, ad hoc, get a little idea, chase the line, go for it, expand, tangent, elaborate, go completely off topic, whatever, and produce the content I produce. After 30 minutes, when I finished, I'm usually so chuffed that again, miraculously, I managed to pull it off with barely a thought to begin with, and I failed to record the audio. It's a shocker. Nearly crying. I mean, the video before this, the Francesca Ramsey one about why don't men hold hands? Why don't straight men hold hands? Well, the same reason gay men don't, because they're not lovers. I fucked up the source audio with that one. Oh, but with a few little digital skills, I managed to dub it over. But there's no dubbing over something that doesn't exist, and it's a strange kind of sense of loss when you know your creativity, your words have just disappeared into the ether, spoken to yourself. I just checked the mic was on. Couldn't cope with two of them. It's like a strike system. If you fail to record your audio on 3 videos, you get 3 strikes and you self-terminate your life. It's suicide for a YouTuber, that. Anyway, a pleasure to be here. It's 1 a.m. The missus is half asleep. She's not happy about me still rambling. It's quite amazing. Sometimes I'll just be getting right into it and I sort of turn around and just, what's going on? Why do you do that? However, before I start, I've got a message for someone. Now, a parent wrote to me about their child, which is kind of what I want to talk about. Not that person, their child, but parents, children, and that sort of thing. That's what I'm going to go with this video, but which is why it seemed kind of relevant. And she wrote to me asking to do a little shout out. But what I'm actually going to do, and I know that she'll be watching this now and thinking, "Oh, you bastard!" That's not what I asked for. But I'm actually going to read the letter that she sent me. Oh, I'm sure there's many mother and daughters watching this, and the daughters are absolutely cringing their teeth loose, hoping this is not about them. Now, mother, worry not. I have edited out certain things. Of course, the letter was addressed to me, and not all of it was for the ears of her child. But this is a very proud mother. So, if you think it's you, you're about to find out. I'm talking to you, Bronte. Oh, Bronte. Boo, boo, boo. Yeah, your mother's Robin. Boo, boo, boo. Robin mother. Boo, boo, boo. Bronte daughter. Boo, boo, boo. Oh, Bronte. Oh, your mother's so ridiculously proud of you. And I'm going to share your achievements with my colossal audience. Right, here we go. Like I said, I've edited this slightly, so it might be a little bit jumpy. This is from Bronte. This is from your mother, Robin. Oh, she wrote to me. She wrote to me with a plea, a request, a ponce, a bludge, as she put it. Anyway, let's get on to what she said. Hey, Chris, it's Robin down in Oz. Sorry I'm messaging you on Patreon. I couldn't DM you on Twitter and I don't do Facebook. How's life treating you? Well, I hope. I mean the offline private bit of life. Anyway, after that little bit of politeness, she cuts to the chase. Hey, look, I'm on the bludge, which I think is Australian for ponce. I'm on the ponce. I need something from you. I'm messaging you for a little favour, if you'd be so kind. My daughter, Bronte, what a wonderful name. My daughter, Bronte, just finished year 12. She's starting university next year. And she got, this is all capitals, she got ducks of the fucking school. Now, I had to look that up, but to our Antipodean cousins, ducks. Oh, it's the king. Oh, it's the queen. It's the leader. It's the master of the school. It's the one who beat everyone, the champion. Bronte is the champion. No time for losers, 'cause Bronte is the ducks of the school. Got to be careful with that because I'll get a strike for copyright, because obviously that was Freddie Mercury, I feel. Anyway, the kid, Bronte, got ducks of the school. King of it, queen of it. She got ducks of the fucking school and a certificate of excellence for chemistry. God, I hope she's not going to follow in my God, I hope she's not going to follow in my footsteps and... Mother was a bit naughty, okay? She has worked her arse off for the last 2 years and achieved something really special, especially given the fact that she stood up so fervently against the Marxist ideology the teachers were pushing. It's strange what children have to put up with these days. Oh, my kid had a terrible... When I was at school, you got bullied, people spat on you, you had a fight, you got detention. These days, it's standing up fervently against the Marxist ideology. Well done, Bronte. You're red-pilled, you're good. Especially given she stood up so fervently against the Marxist ideology the teachers were pushing that she managed to ostracise herself to such a degree that she pulled out of the English lit classroom. So ostracised was Bronte, so not liked, so politically incorrect. Essentially, really, you know, she obviously held the incorrect politics. She didn't go along with the bullshit, and it ostracised her so much that she pulled out of English Lit and completed the course independently in the library. Bronte! Oh, you can use that for I don't know, for some kind of meme, love. Bronte! Here we go now. No easy classes either. Physics, chemistry, English lit, math applications, business studies and food and hospitality. To come out with the highest academic achievement of the entire graduating year, we enter caps lock, fucking brilliant. You should have seen me at the ceremony, Chris, crying like a lunatic. It was all I could do to stop myself jumping on the chair, woo-hooing and pelvis thrusting, while simultaneously birding everyone in the auditorium. What a mother. What a daughter. Oh, what a mother and daughter. Steady. Come on, steady. Any chance you could give her a little shout out in one of your vids? We always watch. I often comment, but she rarely does. Anyway, if you could, it'd be a nice, unexpected little surprise for her when she next tunes in. If not, no dramas. I hope you don't mind me asking, but I just thought I would. If you don't ask, you never know. Oh, well, there you go, Robin and the marvellous Bronte. Look, stick with it, Bronte. All you need to learn at university is how to think for yourself. That's what you learn. If you get the impression anyone's trying to teach you, nah. Remain critical. Always have critical distance from the object of analysis. Do not get emotionally involved with the object of analysis, because it will over-determine your ability to be critical about it. Step away, critical distance. Oh, you're going to smash it. It sounds to me like you're going to smash it. And regardless of what everyone says about universities these days, and there is a load of bullshit there, you've already had a taste of it at school. Oh, but there's still a great time to be had. Engage in it. Engage in the groups. Get in the debating society. Argue. Toe the line to an extent or you'll get chucked out. But exercise cunning. Be wise. You know, don't bite when they poke you. Come back and be clever, learn, read, engage. I mean, emotionally engage yourself in ideas for sure. I mean, I absolutely adored the reading I was doing. I mean, Freud was just incredible. I read everything that was published by him in English. But when it actually comes to analysis, critical distance is essential. I nearly started crying. But there you go. I hope that's all right, Robin. Good luck, Bronte. Well done with all of that. It's an hard time as a youngster, and your future is embarking. And that's what I want to talk about, really. Like I said, I haven't got a lot, but I wanted to put some content out. So I wanted to talk about children, having children, parents, that kind of area. Because as a lot of you know, recently I've made that decision to kind of dive in and finally, late developer at my right vintage, have children. And someone said to me the other day, a friend, they said, do you think not only the woman in question, but your new environment has had something to do with you making that decision? And 100% it has. Because the idea for me of being in a shitty little studio flat or a 2 up, 1 down, God knows what, poxy little place in London with a screaming kid out the back and a miserable wife sleeping next to me. No, God, no, nada. But out here, when I went up to the provinces and met her family, like I've told you, 40 strong. the age ranges all the way. There's like young women who are pregnant, 1-year-olds, 2-year-olds, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way up to teenagers, then all the way through to the 97-year-old matriarch that runs the show. An incredible environment to raise children in. You know, every morning, get up, throw them at the crowd, and they've got a community. When we went down to the Buddhist thing on the Sunday, a mate of mine said, for those of you who don't know, when I stayed up there, we went to the Buddhist, not a temple. It wasn't a temple, I want to stress that. It was just this big old wooden hut on stilts. We all walked up this dirt track road for about 2 miles, carrying rice and God knows what in those little metal tins. Got there, and to see the community in action, to see the gossip being spread, everyone catching up, the giggles, the eyes. I mean, I was the only barang, the only white man that had ever been there, as I was told. I was also about 1.5 feet taller than all of them, stuck out like a gaunt, anemic, drug-addled lighthouse, which apart from lighthouse I am. And, you know, it was kind of interesting, but okay. And then we all sat down and prayers were made and joss sticks and all that. It was just kind of incredible. My mate said to me, if you move out there, or when you move out there, you're going to go and do that kind of thing. And 100% I am, because I saw its function. I saw what it is beyond the religion. And even having said that, Buddhism I've always been attracted to Buddhism since, and then we come back to my own parents, since my father sowed that seed. My mum used to love telling me, your dad always would talk about the Zen. He was very into the Zen Buddhism. And, you know, when your father died, you keep hold of things like that, and, you know, they grow within you. I can remember when I was detoxing the second time out in Thailand, and I was sitting in the brothel, and all on the walls there's like these sort of traditional Buddhist images, the sak yants that people have tattooed on them, and I was asking all the girls what they mean, and certainly emotionally, dare I say spiritually vulnerable at the time, but it kind of appealed to me, this idea of just something, you know, possibly what NA means by a higher power that isn't your traditional God, just something to look towards, something to focus yourself. And also, as I was saying, the community aspect of that. You know, ours is out in the province. They're not like all next to each other. It's not a terrace. There's about, a kilometre between each property. And for everyone to just be walking up this dust track, the odd scooter going past, and then to meet there, it was just something quite special. And it was very emotional for me, because I certainly recognised a lack. And not a loss, because I never had it, but a lack. I certainly recognised something that had not featured in my life, and it was appealing, and it did something to me mentally and physically, kind of wonderful. And so, I've had long relationships, 8 years, 2 years, 11 years, 2 years, 6 years. Never wanted really to be in those relationships. Absolute pleasure, great times, wonderful women. I mean, the girl from the Crack Diaries is still one of my best friends to this day, but kind of give or take them. Didn't live with any of them except for Gail from the Crack Diaries, and that was only because we were codependent junkies. As soon as I got clean, I moved out and we split up. But with this one, quite different. Everything's fallen into place. When I asked her what she wanted out of life, and she said a bit of land and a family, I was like, yeah. Didn't even need to think. And some might say, well, hang on, like my best mate has. Well, maybe this is where you should think. But it didn't require it. Because I know what I want. I want to be with her, and I want to develop that relationship. And when she told me what she wanted, I wanted to give that to her. If you saw my chat I had with CC Bucko, Critical Condition, you'll have heard a lot more about that. And so interesting times, but without a doubt, the idea of that environment, knowing that knowing that he or she will grow up in a community of children, in a big, big family, with the operative structure of the belief in Buddhism and the community going on, incredible. And also, and this is, and I say this with an immense amount of regret. To an extent, it's always been fear for me, the fear of bringing up children, the fear of committing to a woman, the fear of having children, which has all seemed to just fizzle away recently. I don't know why. Maybe it is something to do with chemistry. But like I say, maybe I am just a late developer, but whatever, that's not there. Maybe that has got to do with environment, because if I picture that idea of us in a traditional Cambodian house out in those provinces, with a few kids running around, sounds great. The idea of a few of us stuck in a little fucking middle of terrorist in Clapham, as if I'd be able to afford fucking Clapham, blatantly ended up somewhere like Walthamstow. Oh, I'll be swinging in a month, a week. So it's very strange times. And now I'm starting to think about my age, and like, oh man, but when I'm 70, the kid will be, kids will be one of those ones with really old parents, and then this and that, and then, you know, there's never an optimal moment to do anything. It reminded me strangely of finishing with someone. You know when you got that moment where you've just given into the truth, because you get a whiff of it, don't you? You're in a relationship, and suddenly, for the first time, after the gorgeous, after the incredible and fantastic and wonderland kind of honeymoon period, where everything about it was perfect and it was just gorgeous, you get that little pang one day where you think, oh, fuck this woman. and you notice it, and you're like, we've got to that stage. She's not perfect. This isn't always going to be good. And then those moments increase and increase and increase, and then the more you try and do something about it, the more they get worse. And that lovely little giggle that used to just warm the cockles of your heart, now you're like, oh, can you stop fucking laughing like that? You sound like a spastic. And then finally it gets to the point where you're like, and it's usually for a friend, a real friend. It takes a real friend to make the obvious point. Sounds to me like you'd be happier without her. It hurts. And it hurts not because they're wrong, but because they're right. And when you just think, oh, fuck it, man. And I've said this to friends, and I've had friends touche it back to me decades later. If you could press a button and not be in that relationship, would you do it? And when the answer is yes, it's like, well, you can. You have to go up to her and say it, and it's just, because you know, it's going to be a long thing. This is how men want to end relationships. They want to say to the lady, they want to say, darling, it's been great. There's been some hard times. There's been some amazing times. Oh, we fell in love and a romance did unfold. It's been wonderful having sex with you for sure. But I've come to the point where I feel I'd be happier without you. Okay? I'll see you again. See you around. And then the lady just goes, and that's it. That's how men want to end a relationship. But no, you're not getting that. You are not getting that. And that's why men don't do it, because they're lazy and they're scared. Because they know, by saying I want to leave you, by saying I want to finish this, it's going to be at least 24 hours sitting there with them going on and on and on and on. I can remember one of my girlfriends going on for so long, and she was crying so much, and at one point I was so emotionally detached from it, which you have to be, because you're trying to fucking leave, and you know you have to make that decision. And this is something older people, because obviously women want to leave men as well. You learn when you decide to leave someone, you also have to make a decision to not be manipulated into staying. Because that's the first thing that's going to happen. Never is the opposite person going to go, yeah, all right, fair enough, makes sense, see you later. No. Oh no, it's going to be a long, hard, deep, emotional, psychological battle. They're going to use every trick in the book to get you back. My last girlfriend before this one, I fucked off to get clean in Thailand, and while I was out there, I indulged in some of the available activities that may or may not have involved about 100 different women, okay? It was kind of obvious that was happening. I kind of talked about it on Twitter. So when I got back, my girlfriend of 6 years was unsurprisingly a little bit funny with me. I got back on the Thursday and I sort of texted her and I was like, I'll be getting to Heathrow about 8 o'clock. And she went, yeah, I'll probably come over Saturday. And I was thinking, yeah, that's not what lovers do. Someone who loves you is at the airport Monday. They've put a tent outside for you. And as soon as she said that, I went, have you got something to tell me? She went, yeah. And I was like, yes. Yes. What a result. And of course, when we met up, I went, so you're finishing with me? Because I'd already accepted it. I'd already expected it. and you could argue planned it, created it, organised and arranged it through my behaviour. Very few women are going to put up with that, and I knew she wouldn't. And then after, I just went, you've made the right decision. You've made the right decision. Should we go and get a cup of tea? And I just thought it'd be all cool. And of course, while we're drinking tea, I can tell her mannerisms are changing. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Oh, hang on. She went, I don't know if I've made the right decision. I was going, no, you have. Oh, believe me, you have. No, you've made the right decision. And when I finally managed to detach myself, the text started, for fuck's sake. Leaving people. What a tricky one. So here I find myself in a position where I'm looking at getting a bit of land at some point. Next to nothing out here. I mean, it's going to involve saving and probably take about a year, but might see if I can get a loan from the bank or something. I mean, I wonder how they deal with that for mortgages. I want to buy a bit of land for a house. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I'm looking at moving in and having a baby. Yeah, no problem. It's in Cambodia. Fuck off. Gotcha. Go and get out. You know what? It's such a weird and funny country, this. She hasn't even got a passport. I'm thinking of sorting that out because I've got to go and visit my mother at some point. It'd be lovely to take her over to England. And I was thinking, look, if you followed the videos, I took her to a shopping centre the other day. First time she'd ever been on an escalator. When it got to the bit at the end, she was like, whoa! Oh, I'll show you a day out. Oh, tomorrow I'll take you somewhere where there's 4 escalators. Don't worry about that, love. Oh, I'll spoil you with electronic personal haulage. And so I thought it'd be lovely to take her out to England. Then I thought, what the fuck's she going to eat? What's she good? Because my mum's cooking, not only is it English, but it ain't great. Ain't great. I'm a bit funny with food. No disrespect to mother. Everyone else has always been fine with it, but it ain't really for me. But she can't eat that, and I thought, restaurants, you have to get out to restaurant, which you can make some rice and fry some fucking prawns. Gone online now. People from the West, English people, even Americans. How many Chinese restaurants do you think there are in England? Got to be about 30,000 at least. There's probably 30,000 in London. Thai restaurants, I can think about 20 off the top of my head within walking distance from my old pad in Soho. Vietnamese restaurants, Jesus Christ. The Kingsland Road in Shoreditch is just one long Vietnamese restaurant separated by doors and different names on the windows. I'm sure there's one chef that just runs up and down. They're everywhere. Southeast Asia, it's well accounted for. How many Cambodian restaurants you reckon you got in England? There's one. Sorry, London. But, if there's only one in London, you can usually work out the ratios. I mean, I think if there's one in London, there's probably minus 10 in Halifax. It will take 10 Cambodian restaurants to set up in Halifax and get absorbed into the negative reality of the place for the 11th to appear as one. I mean, come on. There's one. What a turnout. You know what, when I was down the shanty the other day, and I will put the photos on this video, I said it last time, I only took 3 or 4. Again, I don't want to fetishise poverty. Oh, look at the children playing with pots of industrial paint and playing skipping with barbed wire and all that shit. But I did want to get some photos, and I took a few, and every time I go down it's kind of amazing because the sense of humanity, these people have got nothing, went into her mother's pad down there because they came to the city to work, to earn money because there's nothing in the provinces. And it was heartbreaking to have seen their province pad, traditional wood and nothing special, plenty of corrugated metal and all that, but still very big because land is out there. And then to go to their pad here, I'm not joking, it's probably about 4 metres square. Really? I know how small that is. I haven't got this wrong. I know my maths aren't my strong point. I've done sums live on video and people have whipped my ass in the comments. But it is 2 by 2. That's 4 metres square. If I fuck that up, that's going to be humiliating. You put a bit of food in the middle and everyone sits around it, the 4 of us, and our knees are touching. Tiny, and that's it. Oh, that's it. Yeah, there's nothing there. But Pete, the community spirit, as I'm walking through with her, everyone knows her, there's smiles, there's jokes, obviously joking about me because I've never seen a white man down there before. And being down there the other day, I saw this kid, and it's in one of the photos, coming towards me on a push bike. And it was one of those knackered old push bikes. The paint's falling off. There's only one brake on it. The seat's got gaffer tape around it. A seat from a different bike. Just like a sort of a stick together of different bikes. And I was looking at it, and the character and charm of that, and it's something that's certainly lost in mass commercial production. And it reminded me of my first bike. My first bike was much the same as that. My dad put it together out of different scraps from up the dump, and it didn't have inflatable wheels. It had solid rubber tyres, and I just absolutely adored it. And I can picture in my head my bike, Graham Gardner's bike, Aaron Gardner's bike, David Alton's bike, all the kids on my street, and they're absolutely unique bikes. I mean, 2 of them were stolen postman's bikes. And we all had stolen postman's lights as well. Do you remember the postman? They just park their bikes up. Used to. You ain't going to get this these days. Park their bikes up with a white light in the front and red light in the back, and just have them. And they were these big kind of, like the national health glasses of bike lights. I mean, there's nothing cool about them. This was literally just a light. Most people just put them in their bedrooms anyway, but rather than attach them to their bike, because sellotape and staples couldn't really handle with going over the bumps up the heath. But the amazing character and different, the bikes were so distinct from each other. I can remember one of them had king cow horns, but the bike was tiny. The geezer was just riding along like this on his tiny little bike. One of them was a rally chopper again, but it had different. It had a front wheel of a Tomahawk and a back wheel of a racing bike. So it almost looked. In many ways, the bikes from my childhood, and I know this wasn't just me because I'd travel to other areas and see their gangs. By gangs, I mean young kids with long blonde hair and fucking Superman nylon highly flammable t-shirts on. They were, in many ways, like the Mad Max, the Mad Max Mohican crowd of our day. You know, a freaky set of disconnected bicycles, and just wonderful. And it's a shame that a lot of that's got lost. Now, again, it makes me slightly weird taste in my mouth, because there is a fetishization of poverty there. As a child, would I have liked a nice PK Ripper or a Harrow Freestyler? Yeah, probably. I mean, you know, I used to watch on TV the blokes on their proper BMXs going up ramps and doing, like, what's his name? I can't even remember the geezer's name, but Rodney Mullen, the freestyler, whipping his skateboard around and wondering my plywood homemade skateboard wouldn't do an ollie kickflip. And, you know, it was weird. There was a definite separation between us and the potential of the professionals. I tell you, I really had it with my ZX Spectrum computer. Me and my mate Mark would sit down doing graphics for games, you know, like vector graphics. We loved Elite, and we'd have them all moving, and I had all these ideas for games, and, you know, really nice ideas. And still to this day, I remember one of them, I was going to call it the Tubes, and it was going to be like, you know, you're zooming down these tubes, and it's just a shooter really with this idea of tubes, and when you hit the wall you'd fly all over the place. Ended up a very similar idea to that was made for the Commodore 64 called Uridium. One of those things you watch and think, yeah, but I thought of that 5 years ago. And I'd be reading in magazines like Crash and Zap 64 about these teenage kids who went on to have these massive software corporations, or even people like Matthew Smith, who made Manic Mine and was this weird hippie legend, sort of weirdo geek legend among sort of Spectrum owners. And it was like, but why can't we do it? What's stopping us? I had an assembler, I had a monitor, my mate could understand binary and a little bit of hexadecimal, and we were clever kids. Why weren't we programming games? And I found out years later, of course, that Matthew Smith and all the others didn't program on Spectrums. They programmed on bigger computers like the Tandy TV4 or something, and downloaded the games onto a Spectrum. And then I started thinking, but why didn't I have access to them? Where were they? Where were my teachers showing me stuff like that? How did I miss out on that link? You know, I thought I was learning everything I could. I thought I had my fingers in the home microcomputer Pi. Oh, I had a bit of hardware called the Spectrum that you plugged in the back and made your little Spectrum go. Oh, I borrowed Cora Speech, which I plugged in the back on the Spectrum, and I could type in, fuck you. Your mum is a cunt, fuck you. But there was never that leap. There was never that bit where we entered the professional realm, and I slightly resent that. You know, I can remember as a young teenager watching things on telly about the Eton boys with their fine suits and their books, walking through their gorgeous old Edwardian grounds and playing rugby and just hating them. And I learned as I got older that hatred and that resentment was just pure jealousy. I'd love to have gone to a school and had a proper education. You know, I know plenty of thick people, plenty of idiots who had that education, and even without a brain, even without the ability to synthesize ideas, even without the ability to be critical, even without anything not a creative bone in their body, oh, they can still tell you about the creation of the Greek city-state. Oh, they can still tell you about the movement of the Ottoman Empire. They've got a basic grasp. No, they've got a basic grasp of a very deep level of history, economics, geography, language, philosophy. Even the idiots would have been amazing to get a proper education. Now, the bumming, I didn't miss. Didn't get bummed at a state comp. No, you didn't touch another man's willy at a state comp. Now, a very good friend of mine, he went to one of those schools, Radley. And you know, Withnail and I is based on a couple of real life people. One of them being Lord Dunstan, who wrote, sung, and recorded the hit "I put my jeans on, I put my blue jeans on, I put my jeans on." Do you remember it? When I wake up. No, that's it. That's Leo Sayer. Hang on. I can't remember the chorus. Hang on, I want to because it's really good. But I'm going with Leo Sayer, another Blue Jeans song, I think. Hang on. I got money in my pocket, tiger in the tank, and I'm out on the road again. When I wake up in the morning light, I put on my jeans and I feel alright. I put my jeans on, I put my blue jeans. Anyway, that's Lord Dunstan. I think that's who it is, and he is who Withnail is based on, or he's based on I. And my mate was at Radley with him, and he wanked him off in the canteen queue through the hole in his trouser pockets. I put my jeans on. So didn't miss the bumming. Wouldn't have liked rugby. I was too much of a late developer. I can remember playing rugby. I'm standing there. I'm anemic. I'm jaundiced. I've got no pubic hair. I'm about 4 foot tall. It's a fucking ice cold February morning in grotty Dartford, and there's a 7 foot tall big fucking brick shithouse running towards me with sovereign rings and a moustache. That's not fun. But to have had to done that regularly at somewhere like Eton, no. But I do feel somewhat cheated out of an education. And of course, I've heard people on the other side of the grass is greener go, but, you know, I hear such wonderful stories, wonderful heartfelt stories from your education. You know, the working classes are so amusing. Fuck you. I learned fuck all. So, there you go. We've reached the end of another wayward video. These are the ones that lose me subs. People like to get behind an idea. They like to be able to shake. They like to be able to nod their head and go, "Yeah, I feel like that. Here's a Patreon. Here's a sub." And they watch these and they think, "Nah, nah." But you know what? I've just realised I've been peeking all the way through it. Oh no! I think I might have fucked.
Thanks for watching.
Now we're going to ask the ladies to help us do the next tune.